is struggling, especially with these issues around race, critical race theory. We have an answer for that, and Mason will be sharing that. So I'll send you the video. If you know somebody who wants to come, if you want to go to church, say, send me the information for church. I'll send you that as well. But we just appreciate you to speak to us. Thank you, Gary.
Welcome everybody. It's great to be at this special Board of County service. By the way, I will remind you, if you want to throw your communications in the back rather than up front like usual. How many people here for the first time today?
This is the first time I've been here today.
Welcome. Now, glad you're here. If you want to use the restroom, just go out, sign this door, right to the right, immediately right out there. If you would, it would be nice if you would silence your phones, your cell phones, put them on vibrate or silence them so we're not disturbing everybody. There we go. That's exactly right. And then finally, is anybody here going to vote no for recalling Gavin Newsom? If you are, there's a door. We can have a few of those signs over there. The $2 donation would be appreciated. Get you some money. I know we have one in our front yard. We got our ballots today, so there's the mail. We have got it yet. Our usual North County Conservative meeting is on the fourth Tuesday of the month. Fourth Tuesday of the month. This year it's going to be on the 24th, and it's going to be focusing on law enforcement. I don't know if you know the Escondido Police Chief Ed Barstow. He's going to be speaking here, and possibly it looks like County Under Sheriff Kelly Martinez is going to be here unless we folks are away from that. And Bill Board has recently announced he's not going to run for election next year. And Under Sheriff Kelly Martinez says she's still in her added range. She's going to go for the sheriff next year. So, yes. You know,
Sign any of them.
I can take it now. I can't take it in.
Sheriff Ward was
Christopher.
although I guess we actually had to loosen up a little bit the last year.
Paid me. You can pay me.
I did already. I paid her already.
What's your name?
Yeah.
I don't know if you listened to Mason Weaver before. He is a pastor, motivational speaker, television commentator, and he's authored 10 books. He's founder of Lead the Plantation Organization. He flew in yesterday from Fort Myers, right, Mason?
Yes, that's right.
He's from Fort Myers.
I put Myers.
He's speaking tonight without charge, so I hope you'll be generous with purchasing the books. Like I said earlier, they're $20 for one book, $30 for 2 books. So you can help offset those expenses. I think everybody's seen that things are, the prices are going up.
No.
Government keeps spending trillions and trillions of dollars. Basically, it's changing the way people think about how they do business, how they interact with their family, their friends, and the world. You can train, educate, teach, and reaching thousands with these messages of hope for the future and empowering individuals with the tools they need to become the driving forces for a positive change. Mason is a sought-after public speaker, a lecturer. He's gifted with an extraordinary view of government and business. And I don't know if you're going to talk about it tonight, but today is the day, the 50th anniversary, right? Where he was almost murdered 50 years ago today by a Navy shipmate. I'm not sure if he's going to talk about that or not. But did you want to say anything before? You know, Dan Summers is running some flyer with Mason. Is going to be speaking with Larry Elder the last Saturday of this month. And did you say anything before we turn that mic over to Mason? By the way, Douglas, he's one of our steering committees also. can't emphasize enough. We're coming down September 14th. It's going to be an election. Vote yes. If you want Newsom, Newsom, to vote more all over the state, have restrictions, and have higher taxes, and have higher regulations, and drive your cost of living straight out the door, and force you to join the homeless, then vote no. If you want to turn it around, vote yes. We want him out of office. So, right now, Reform California is at 1050 Escondido Boulevard. Nearest cross street is the 15th. So, it's a 3-story building. East side, you'll see his office. That is running Reform California throughout the whole state. That's the head office. Go over there, get one of these. See if you can take part. He is the answer. Carl has done more of getting people motivated to stand up to government than anybody that I know of. Now, the next thing is Larry Elder. He spoke yesterday at our Central Committee of the Republicans. Dynamic speaker. By far, he's twice the percentage rate of anybody close to him, almost the total. We need to get this gentleman in an office. And I think it's August the 28th, up in Ramona, you can hear Mason Weaver, Larry Elder. If you want some excitement, get those two together and come up there. They have good food, they have good accommodations, and go and support the next governor of the United States and somebody who's trying to do this awful legislation. I worked on his assembly run over 20 years ago. Let's see what we can do. Very appreciate it.
If you haven't been to the Ramona, if you haven't been up there, it's a very nice thing.
Thank you, Doug. Yeah, the board's open at 11 o'clock up there. I'm gonna get there early. So it's gonna be packed.
Get there about 9, have breakfast next door.
The doors open at 11. They start a video at 11:30. Meeting actually begins at noon. So yeah, hope to see you up there. With that, will we give a warm welcome for Mason Weaver?
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. You're right. August 11th, 1971 to August 11th, 2021. 50 years is a long time. It's a long time. It's really an honor to be here to celebrate, to at least to memorize that event. I just came from the base today, spent all day on the base, running around. It's changed 50 years. Some things have not changed at all. You know, the officers want to give orders, and the enlisted man wants to help you get to where you have to go to. Went to the pier, I got hurt on, and took pictures of it. 50 years ago tonight, I'm laying in Balboa Naval Hospital with a week to live. Wow. Been a very good week. Yeah, I've been a whole lot in a week. But I want to talk tonight, not about the injury. I think y'all know the story. I'm not talking loud enough. That's unheard of. But it's important to understand the transformation from an injury. I want to first start off by thanking Mike's Barbecue. It has been a staple for what we're trying to do. Has supported everything we've done. I don't know how many times I've spoken here. I'm always appreciative of the staff and the food and his support of what we're doing here. And I really want to thank you for that. The North County Conservatives, you guys understand what you're doing, the input that you're making, the inroads you're making, the influences that you're achieving because you're bold enough to stand up for what you believe in. Boldness works. Boldness always, with whoever you know in history, everything you know about history, you know from bold people who stood up and took no mess, no nonsense. We got a president because Trump was bold. That's Trump. Everybody you know, everyone you read, everyone you're following, you did because you're bold. And you were also founded in boldness. I got here today because in 1968, April the 4th, King was murdered. It was also the year I joined the Navy to get out of Missouri. The Spirit asked me why did I leave St. Louis to go to Vietnam? And I always say because at least in Vietnam I had to shoot back. Because good guys couldn't carry a gun in Missouri in those days. So I left for the military. My nation spent the whole summer burning itself down. Watch this. Burn the nation down. We're going to discuss that this evening. So now in the military, I dropped out of high school. Back when I go to Vietnam, then I get that told me, and I come back from Vietnam, and I had a daily debate with this. He was a white racist, and I wasn't great. I thought black was a great. And we debate about the great Russian. More followers, and he upset. I ordered him. I was the supervisor. Well, I was a higher rank than he was. And I ordered him to take control of 2,800 pounds of steel. Before I went on vacation, he was trying to take over my all-black military work crew. The Navy did that on purpose. There's no reason for them to sign this guy who was racist. My work crew was all the military. If you're a black military on that ship and you got in trouble, you're a racist work crew. Because they want us to stop. And I told them these guys this. They don't think you can do it. They think that you're stupid, lazy, and dumb. They think you're going to be down with you. I think this is what I make a deal with you. There'll be every night. There is no night duty if you get your job done in the daytime. If you want to go home, if you want to go to the club to chase the girls around, get your work done. And you got to do the work. If one person has to do the work again, everybody stays till the work is done. We became the best work group in a ship. But they're going to leave this guy with my work group. And I knew that somebody's going to die. Either it's going to kill him or it's going to kill somebody else. So I ordered this guy to take control of 2,800 pounds of steel. I stood in a steel hallway. They called it gangway at the time in the Navy. And a steel bulkhead behind me and 2,800 pounds of steel between me and it. And I turned to the guy to my left, to the black guy. He was doing his job. I turned to this dude, and I saw the look in his face. And the look in his face, the look in his eyes, made me start running. He started running. It's too late. Hit me in the left hip to that steel wall, broke 3 ribs and hit the walls and crushed my helmet. I'm going to hit the helmet. And my life passed between my eyes. I was only 21, so it's a very movie. Hadn't done anything yet. But when I stopped screaming, opened my eyes up, here this guy was standing over me, waiting for me to die. Wow. And the look on his face, I maybe stopped screaming and started scheming. Because I was determined. One day I was going to take my hands and put it around his throat and squeeze that look off of his face. And that was my only reason to live. I went to Bellboy Naval Hospital. I was broken 8 places. My spine was crooked. Both hips were broken. Ruptured spleen and bladder and everything I could think of. And I'm laying in the bed, gritting my teeth. Just I was in pain. I was just angry. And my only desire in life was to take his life. I then began to hate everyone that looked like him. You know, that's how hate goes. You know, it's a disease. It doesn't affect just one person. It's like the coronavirus. So that was real. And I got so angry, I was blinded. I was laying in the hospital bed at Bellboy Naval Hospital, looking up. I couldn't do anything else. Sunday morning, I would tell you the spiritual side of what happened to me. But tonight, the social side, I'm now black, disabled, hospital dropout, and angry. And really was good for nothing. I got out of the hospital, they said I'd be in the hospital 9 months, I'll be in the bed 9 months, and out of the hospital in a year. And I walked out in 3 months because I had something to do. They didn't know I was recovering so fast. But what happened to me after that, what the journey I went through after that is in the book, It's Okay to Leave the Plantation, and it explains the walk. The walk. Folks, you could not have spoken to me in 1972 and 73. You could not have said hello to me. You could not have even approached me. You're talking about reaching out across the aisle. Had you reached out at me, you would have drew back a bloody nub. You couldn't have reached me. You can say anything to me because I know the truth. Liberals know the truth. You're trying to argue and debate with them. You think that by providing the truth, they're going to say, oh, you're right. That makes sense. Wow. No, it never has happened to you. And it never will happen to you. I'm going to tell you how I get them to walk that plank, get back to reality. What I discovered about myself, about my country was astounding. At Berkeley, everybody was, I went to Merritt College. You may know that name. It was the founding campus of the Black Panther Party in Oakland. And I took a sociology class by a man named Melvin Newton. He was the older brother of another man named Huey Newton. And the Black Panther Party was the ruling influence on that campus. And I had this thing called a voice. My voice always good. I don't know why I stutter. Gosh, the sense of humor, made a stutterer a speaker. But I'm talking, I'm going through the rhetoric. I've been to Vietnam first. I was older than these guys. I knew it was crap, but I was angry. I was angry with one white guy. Not everybody. I was now angry with every white person on the planet Earth because of one white guy, not the 8 white guys that rescued me. Not my doctor was white. Not my physical therapist who was white. Therapist. I'm angry at everybody white. Liberalism is irrational. It's irrational. You cannot think and stay a liberal. You have to only feel. They feed on feeling, they feed on feelings. You cannot think. You cannot have a thought in your mind. I got through, it's a long story how I got through that. I got through that by thinking. There was a conflict in my mind. I'm hearing about African kings and queens and empires and all this stuff. Swahili, I was into it. But how did we get here on slave ships? We were not able to protect ourselves. So that all, when I started thinking, when I started realizing what they were saying did not make sense to what I was experiencing. I had seen America. I had been overseas. I had seen poverty. I had seen socialism. I had seen the troubles that it brought. I'm thinking, why am I listening to this social professor? Here's this white, blue-eyed German, black history teacher. He calls us a blue-eyed. You're like no brother I have. I have 8 brothers. Tell me how bad it is being black in America. Yes, it's really bad being black in America. I raise my hand up because I'm thinking, professor, compared to where? I mean, you gotta have a measurement. I said, what African nation can I go to, Professor, to see black folks live as well as we live here? Where can I go in anywhere in the world and find black people leading the government, heading the military? Where it's tough to be black. Where? Where's it better to be black? I said, Professor, you came from Germany. It's better in America for Germans too. You're better off here than in Germany. So he said, well, listen, if I teach you to fish, I will, you live for a lifetime. But if I give you a fish, you live forever. If I teach you to fish, you'll be hungry. I said, no, actually, Professor, I don't need to be taught how to fish. I'm a good fisherman. Just open the gate onto the lake. I needed enough to feed myself. The idea, the condescending idea of these professors was that I was a poor black kid and they were white but nice. They were superior but nice. Liberalism is condescending. Liberalism is saying, you poor black kid, let me help you. And you got to bend your back to help me get on my feet. When all you're doing is standing in my way to get on my feet. So the idea that I needed help. I'm going to Berkeley. I got a brain. I don't need help. I need you to get out of my way. So I start comparing who was doing what to who. I'm thinking, who is the worst enemy of black people? And everywhere I turn around and look for poverty, everywhere I turn around and look for death and destruction, I see Democrats. I'm hearing how bad Republicans are, but I'm thinking, gee, let me see here. Democrats own every ghetto in America. Think about that. Every ghetto in America. I told my barber that one. He said, well, Mason, the party's changed. Republicans became Democrats. And I said, well, okay, let's look at today. If you're saying that Democrats have changed, name me a Democrat neighborhood that black folks are thriving in. Anywhere in America. Just name me a black inner city school that you're proud of. Name me a Democrat policy that you want more of. Thinking. So I started wondering, what happened to us? Republicans, do you know who you guys are? Do you know who you are, Republicans? I mean, do you know who you are? Because if you listen to the media tell you who you are, you might not know who you really are. You are tired, disgusting people who hate compromising. That's your blood. You met in 1854 because you were tired of compromising. You were disgusted on compromising. The idea of slavery was so repugnant to you that you formed a new party. And you came out in 1854 and said, we are done compromising. The Kansas-Nebraska Act, Missouri Compromise, the Oregon Act. You got tired of one slave state and one free state. You always want you to give them something, give them a little bit, just compromise. You stood up and said, if you elect, we are done compromising. One election cycle, and it wasn't a political uprising. Don't think for a second. What happened in 1800 was a political thing. It was not a political thing. You had Reverend John Brown, you had Minister Herbert Stowe, it's the Quaker Church, the Western Church. You had a spiritual movement. You had black folks in the fields for the first time praising God and singing Negro spirituals. And that combination refuses to be in burden. That kind of combination refuses to be enslaved. You can never find people praising God in captivity. So it had to happen. And what you found out after that campaign, the Underground Railroad, after that campaign and the slave revolts, you found this nation on the verge, but it was not on the verge of a civil war. It was a spiritual war. That was more like a crusade. That was a crusade. Because you had white men, 360,000 white Republicans died fighting their brothers to free strangers. You have never seen a civil war like that. It was not a civil war. They went into battle singing, glory, glory, hallelujah. They went into battle singing, my eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. It was a religious freedom. That's the only power they can get men to go fight their family to free strangers. And when it was over, we became the most successful nation on this planet. And we stayed that way and saved the world twice. We Americans stayed that way until we started giving back to that compromising spirit of the Democrats and trying to find common ground. Somebody trying to rape your kids, trying to find common ground when people trying to kill your babies, trying to find common ground. The folks want to tax you to death and regulate everything you do. I want to know when we're going to get back to that spirit of the Republican Party and get tired of compromising with Democrats. I just said you got a recall election coming up. You had enough yet? You had enough? It's never getting any better, folks. They will not stop until we stop them. They will not stop until we stop them. They only stop when we stand up. And they sit back and wait until we get tired again, until we get quiet again, and get back under control. President Trump in the campaign asked me to help them form the Black Voices for Trump. I was proud to sit on the advisory board. And after, I thought they were not, Trump was very bold. I thought that the advisory board wasn't bold enough for me. Folks, it's time to kick doors in, and check some walls and check folks up. So I spent $30,000 of my own money running ads in black urban radio stations. I had a theory, because you all know that all black folks vote Democrat. You heard it before? Yeah. Heard that? 75% of black people are middle class now, thanks to Trump. 75% of black people have jobs now. They're going to work. They're on the freeway like you are. They're paying gas prices like you are now. You're trying to buy a car, you're trying to buy a house. They got a 401k program. I think when his education a couple of years, they got the same problems we have. They're thinking. They're driving to work in the morning. They turn on Steve, #1 drive time talk show in America. And Steve always tell his jokes, criticize Trump and all this stuff. And after this goes to commercial break, here I come on the air. Why would any black person vote Democrat? That's what I was doing. 30-second ads. 30-second ads. Just ask the question and given knowledge, given information. And it was an explosive success. I mean, the number of phone, we tracked the phone calls, the visits to our website. Next election cycle, I'm going to do $500,000 in ads. We're going to raise $500,000. We're going to blast them. How can you vote Democrat? How can you vote for the party of the slave master, the party that beat your ancestors, the party of the whip, the party of the KKK, the party of the White Citizens Council, the party of lynching? How can you vote? That's like an abusive woman. A man beats her for 10 years. Do it again. I changed. You get tired of that. He's going to beat you until you get tired of it. So America, Republicans, they're going to beat you until they're not going to say we treat them too badly now. They're going to regulate you. They're going to control you. They're going to demonstrate over you. They're going to call you names. How can you get affected by a name? I'm a black Republican and wear a Trump hat every day. You want to get some names calling? Come on, folks. What you want, Republicans? You're the party tired of compromising. And it's like a bright rose. You're a rose. You're a beautiful rose. And Democrats are fungus. Now, we need fungus. Fungus is needed. But fungus doesn't need bright light. Rose need light. So you tell me how you're going to work with them and compromise with them, but they hate the light. All they can do is put you dimmer and dimmer and dimmer. They want you to compromise. We got to work together. They want you to work closer to them, closer to them. If I had 2 glasses on this podium, one was pure water, one was muddy water. One drop of that muddy water in that clear water, you no longer have clear water. If you compromise on your principles, you no longer have principles. And the only job is to get you to stop and compromise. Be fair, be fair. I have 2 beautiful teenage girls at my home right now, by themselves right now, except my man-eating dog, very pretty dog. If I go home and pull my driveway and find somebody that walk into my home and climb through my window and I walk in my house and they beat my granddaughter up, how much compromising do you think I would give them? We're going to discuss their childhood, to analyze what happened to them? No, I'm going to call 911 to come pick up the trash. This is our country. Folks, we gave back our nation when we ended the Civil War. We gave them back their territory. We should have stomped them to dust. How can you let them come back to power? Now, it works in international. We defeated Germany. We tore up Europe. We defeated Japan and tore up Asia. And we rebuilt Europe. And we built Japan. And we're trading with them, very good trading partners with them. But you can't do that with Democrats. You cannot do that. Folks, they hate things that you love. This is why I wrote the book, The Democratic Party Hates America. They hate freedom, they hate capitalism, they hate your children, they hate life, they hate birth, they hate financial help, they hate your military, They hate your God. They hate everything about you. And you're supposed to compromise in love. I'm sorry. I was a Democrat. You want nothing to do with them. They sit on it and they focus on you. Democrats, folks, it's amazing. When I marched in Oakland, demonstrated, and protested, what we were protesting for wasn't to make white folks like us. I was a Black Panther. I could care less. I can't even find the words to express how it looks like I care about who likes me. But when I went down to open the business up, they told me I couldn't have a business there because of my skin. That's what I want to change. I want to change the legal, the civil rights, the civil reasons why. Not, Democrats, they want to manage you. They want to manage your income, manage your business. They want to manage your words. You can't call me the N-word. Oh, I don't know what that means. N-word, I can't figure out what that means. Never? I don't know what it means. I'm supposed to melt down in shame, use that word. Let's be honest for a second. If my cousin called me one day during the Trump administration and said, man, I can't hang out with my friends anymore. I asked him why. They're in jail? He said, no, they have jobs. They have jobs. I mean, this is a real deep, for real blood member. This guy's dangerous. He's tough and blood all his life. His friends are all blood gang members. He sells dope, he sells drugs, sells women. He sells everything he can sell illegally. He's complaining, man, I gotta go get me a job. That's what Trump did. And once he takes freedom, so I'm telling you, the lie about the black vote, it is a lie. It is a lie. I convert black people every day. Every day. It just takes over your mind. Let them call your name. Do not respond to name calling. The name calling is a trick. It's a trick to get you to stop discussing the facts and start defending yourself. No, I'm not racist. I like black people. My uncle's black. No. Folks, let them call you every name in the book. You keep hitting them with the facts, and they won't change. They're going to think about it. And you cannot think and stay a liberal. I work for Ron Delta, Peace Stark. I work for people that I hate to even admit I work for. How you convert liberals two different ways. First, these two books here. These two books. I convert it every day. I convert it later in the plane. Come out here. She thought she was a Democrat. I said, no, you're not. You got a job. Pay taxes. You get this book. This book's a list of things they hate. The Democrat Party hates America. I asked her to do the same thing to her relative. You give them the book, they're not going to read it because they're probably high school graduates. Can't read anyway. I'm sorry, I said that out loud. Get that out. You give them the book, and here's how you give them the book. You gotta be careful. You can't say, this is going to change your mind. No, you tell them that you need help. I need help. I'm confused. They think you are anyway, right? Yeah. I'm confused. I heard this black man speak. They think you're racist, right? So you heard a black man speak. You're not got the attention. And I want you to read his book for me and tell me where he's wrong. You don't say what you think, how you feel. Where is he wrong? They have to go through the book, and they have to read and think about how to respond to you. They got to read and think. I have some outrageous statements in this book. Outrageous statements. They got to respond to you about how they feel. And guess what? Be a Democrat and think. It's like being a dry fish. You can't do that. And then this book tells you the story of my journey. It tells you where I started off from. It tells you about Berkeley. It tells you about the Black Student Union. It tells you about the Black Panther Party. It tells you about the progress and how I changed. I changed instantly, by the way. I changed overnight, by the way. Instant transformation. So you now have 2 books. I have 12 books out. I only brought 2 because these 2, you go out here to folks, you see black folks in restaurants, You see black folks at your job. You see black folks when you walk down the street, you go shopping. You see at the ball game. And you see no racial problems. The problem between you and me, we turn that black box on up here. That black box. You see all the racial problems in America in that black box. You don't see them here. The reason why is that their product is called programming. Their product is called programming. The next program is going to begin in a half an hour. And this is called television. They're giving you a vision, and your mind doesn't see this. There is no racial problems in America. There is a Democratic problem in America. There is a. They're the ones that everything. Homosexual group. There's a black group. There's a women's group. There's the rich group. It's always a group. It's never America. And they have us thinking that we hate each other. My little girl walked in the store one day, get change, a pumping gas. She came out and said, the lady was mean, she was rude. Grandpa, you think because I'm black? I said, sweetheart, could be. I don't know, could be that. But let's say you own that liquor store, that gas station. Let's say you own that gas station every day, you're hardworking, trying to put your money in. You got products in there, and you've been robbed times. And 8 out of 10 people around you look like me. Will you treat me different walking there? I would. Why would you not? The solution is black folks stop robbing stores. That's a solution. But if you're going to rob stores, and if you're going to rob the store, you got to be watched. Expect to be spoken to. Expect to be suspicious of, because you are taking their money out of their pocket. So black folks stop robbing. What if black people? You have a marriage. I've never been a female. I will guarantee you, no drive-bys. A community where men are married to that woman and raising babies together, men are different than women. We don't find compromise. We bury your behind. So you're going to have a different kind of approach. In the hood, the gang members are just responding aggressive as the cops. But the cops are married, and gang members are single. And in gang neighborhoods, women are a victim. Your kids are a victim. There's no business located there. Unmarried men create chaos in society. Married men create protection. And in protection, your kids grow. So we should be preaching marriage. There's a reason why we need marriage. There's a reason why girlfriends won't do. There's a reason why going together, back in my day, there was very little girlfriends. It was all courting. Courting. You knock on my door and you come in and speak to the dad and speak to the mother, take the girl to the living room and you court her with the family in the home. Maybe if you're lucky on the front porch, you get a kiss. Maybe if you're lucky, real quick. Today, women are courting. They want to be dated. You lose at dating. So in the black community, it's all courting. So there's no men. If you got a married man in that community, you can do a drive-by here. I can't pay out here in front of you. You can't do that. You have a married neighborhood. You can't sell dope. You can't do drive-bys. You can't put women in the corner and sell their bodies. You can't do that because my little kids pray they go to school there. That would change overnight. If you want to change the drug problems and the gang problem in America, 25% of the baddest, toughest military in the world is made of black men. Only 7% of the population is black men. All the security guards at Thursday today were black men. Everyone I saw up there. So you got the biggest, baddest military in the world who is aggressive, well-trained, well-motivated, well-taught. They protect Japan, they protect Korea, they protect Germany, they protect the whole world. But why do they come home and let Putin run the neighborhood? If you gave every black man his sidearm, we got discharged to go home, solve the problem in one week. Solve the problem. We have to go back. This is the army of Lincoln. We are the party of freedom. We're the party of non-compromising. We're the party that hates to stop. We're the party that loves to win. It's time that we stand up and get back to our roots. We don't have black Republicans. We don't have white Republicans. We have the Republicans. And this nation depends on us, folks. This nation, we're the army. We're the army. Our job is not to find compromise. You think the 101st Airborne found common ground with the Nazi Panzer Division? You think that the first cavalry, the first troop that went into Baghdad, Iraq, you think they found compromise with the Republican Guard? We don't compromise. We destroy. The last time you saw a Republican riot, talking about the Capitol, June the 6th, the last time you found a Capitol Republican riot was a Civil War. Now, you heard about Juneteenth, right? Everybody know about that now, Juneteenth? President Trump was scheduled to go to Tulsa on Juneteenth. Not for Juneteenth, but on Juneteenth. And the liberals went nuts. They compared Juneteenth that happened in Texas, in Galveston, they say Galveston, whole doggone state. And Trump going to Tulsa where the black Wall Street was destroyed by Democrats, by the way. And they said he was racist for doing that. I called the White House. I called everybody I can get on the phone in the White House. Please let him go. Please let him go. Let him go. Let him act a fool. Let him stand in front of the microphones and say, Juneteenth was a celebration of the white Republican Army destroying the Democrat Army to free black folks. You want to celebrate it? Celebrate it. We got to start saying who we are. It was the Republican Army that freed black people. And in Texas, there was no troops there, Confederate or Union troops, because there was no fighting there. But after the Civil War winding down, those Southern slaveholders took the slaves to Texas, hoping to start a nation. And Lincoln sent his troops in there, and they secured Texas. And Galveston was the only place that was documented. That's why black folks think Galveston, they think that Galveston, that the black folks in Texas were free 2 years before they knew they were free. That Lincoln put the Emancipation Proclamation out, and those mean white Republicans that think the slaveholders were Republicans, that they kept those slaves for 2 years. Of course, black folks were not free until Republicans show up. And that's the truth today also. The nation is not free unless you show up. White folks are not free unless you show up. Your taxes are not chosen unless you show up. Freedom for everybody depends on you guys showing up. This election, show up. Tonight, show up. You're not going to find black people angry at you. We're not angry. We are receptive. We're going to go to work. So today, I'm here to encourage you. 50 years after I was injured, 50 years after this white boy tried to kill me, first thing I've done, same thing you did in World War I with Germany and World War II with Japan and Germany, you forgave. I have now forgiven that white guy. And God has taken that anger out of my heart. I don't even know what he looks like anymore. I forget his name sometimes. God has taken that out of my heart. I'm still disabled. I still have pains, extra pains, but it's not anything to do with him anymore. And when I gave that anger up, when I gave it up, I was healed instantly. I was healed by forgiving that white guy. I was healed, instantly I was healed. I was able to walk for the first time in 3 years. Instantly. So what would happen if the Bloods forgave the Crips? What would happen if the Arabs forgave the Israelis, the Jews? What would happen if white folks forgave themselves for slavery? And all you guilty white people out here, I have over here a certificate of forgiveness for all your guilty white folks stuff, because we need y'all to give up their guilt. It's in the way. So you get the certificate, it's free because forgiveness is free, freely given. It's certified by me, and it's sent to slaves. You put on your wall. Whenever you attack, you say, I'm free, I'm free. So you are now forgiven forever. So your white guilt is no more effective. Affirmative action, if anybody ever asks you for affirmative action, you tell them 360,000 white men died. Free black men, that's thank you enough. Let's thank you enough. It's enough. The guilt, your guilt over your ancestors, can you please give it up? Because they're using it to beat us over the head with it. They're using this useless, self-centered white guilt. But what happened to the Roman legions? Didn't take nothing from nobody. Where's the Spanish that used to do it? Where's the Vikings? Where you guys at? Who are you people now? I'm sorry. What? They are attacking you in your face. They're demanding control of your life in your face. They're taxing you to death. $5 for gas. Are you kidding me? Are you out of your, they refine the gas here. And it's cheaper to buy in Arizona. What's wrong with us? Let's run some cages. What they're afraid, what they're terrified of is one day you wake up. One day you wake up. One day you wake up and realize you are Republicans. God bless you. Thanks a lot. Any questions or answers? Any questions or answers? I have to answer to get the questions.
Critical race theory.
Folks, why do Democrats come up with ideas we're going to discuss? Critical race theory. They're good with names, don't they?
Yeah.
Any racists here? None? Okay, done. All right. Critical race is another attempt for Democrats to make you guilty enough to let them handle racism. The most racist people in America are Democrats. We know that. Been that way all their lives. So I have no hope. I have no hope in their ability to handle anything. There is no racial problem in America. There is no racial problem in America. I say it again, there is none. None. There is none in America. What can a racist do to me today? What can you do to me today? If this restaurant had a sign, whites only, how many would be here? Not a single one of you be here.
Yeah.
They're going out of business. Folks, let them be racist. Gee whiz. The hoods and everything else, we need to identify them. They'll go broke. There is no racial problem in America. I go everywhere in this country. I walk every place I want to walk. I go where I want to go. There is no racial problem. We don't need a theory, a race theory. I do have a racial theory, though. Democrats are racist. Another question? Yes, sir.
I got 35 years in the Army, and I'm terribly troubled by what we see going on in military leadership. And part of me thinks about what was probably going on in the late 30s in Germany with the military leadership. And I'm troubled by that. I don't have any fantasy that everybody in the military, every officer in the military is conservative. But my goodness, the boldness that we've seen is scaring me.
Because we're not bold.
No, I'm talking about the boldness in the military leadership for standing up to this garbage instead of arguing against it.
Is it 25 years ago, Malcolm was a bird colonel in the 101st, and he became a sergeant. Came in as a private, and became a bird colonel. He was black. The boldness, it takes boldness, folks. I was on the base today, and I had some really troubling information given to me, really bothered me a little bit. It's been 50 years, and the guy was saying, Mason is not the same military that you had. You were here. He said the Navy SEALs at Pomona are having some of the Navy SEALs asking for sex transplants. They want to be women. Navy SEALs. I'm saying, so you're putting them out, right? You're discharging them, right? That's a mental illness, right? It's a mental illness. You're going to discharge them, right? No, we're going to give them operations. They're going to give them operations. You know that's a mental illness. Why can't we say it's a mental illness? Why can't we say if you're a 14-year-old boy, I think you're a girl, something wrong with you? I had debate on the bus, on the plane, going to Cleveland. And the dude was trying to argue with me about this theory about the sexes and what I should call him, or it, or her, or what. What I should call you is what your DNA says you are. I mean, 1,000 years from now, when archaeologists dig your rotten corpse out the ground, they can tell what you are, but you can't tell today what you are. Why are we going to sit down and even discuss this? Well, a 14-year-old boy can go in the girls' restroom. Are we going to debate that? Why are we giving these idiots the impression that they're mature and wise. And they're quick to label us. So I'm just, folks, I'm a closed-minded, narrow-minded, Christian conservative attitude. That's me. And I'm gonna stand what I believe. I'm not gonna compromise my beliefs. We are Republicans. We have saved this planet twice. That's who we are. And we remain strong when we stand up to foolishness and say, that's foolish. Our job is to put a finger and say, you are mentally ill. You are crazy. Why can't we say crazy? You're crazy. That's my opinion, please. Yes, sir.
As a fellow Floridian, why don't you say a few words about Ron DeSantis?
Next president? And that's it.
I wish he was our governor. It's what we got.
Boy, well, you can't get that governor here. You got to get rid of the illegals first. I'm sorry. Let's say that out loud. Governor DeSantis is another bold individual, and I do believe that Trump is considering him when Trump runs again, and Trump's going to run again. The problem I have with that is who's going to replace him in Florida. There are some good candidates. There are some great unknown. Let's see what Republicans in Florida is doing, and I hope you're doing it here. I don't mean the party. Yeah, I don't mean the party recruiting. We can't trust the party recruit. I mean you guys, the soldiers, start grooming your candidates in Democrat districts also. Folks, I know some pastors right here, right now in this city, right here, that if you ask them and coach them and come alongside of them, they'll run in those districts over there, and they'll win. And they're Republicans. And they will win. But if you let them stay there long enough, those Democratic donors will come in, you know. You start the choir director come in. There are black leaders in Southeast San Diego right now that will run as Republican if they knew they was going to be alongside of them. They've been told y'all don't care. If you show up, if you can't show up, send folks that can. Me. Send folks that can. I can name 20 or 30 here that will go for you and speak for you. And all you need, you realize that every time we get double figures of black folk, we have a landslide. Because those figures are only in the black neighborhoods. They only count black votes in the black neighborhoods. That's why they say 95%. Give me that figure. If you get 10% of the black vote, you always have a landslide. 10%. That's just showing up, folks. That's just showing up. So we're going to do that next election, but I need your help doing that. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
You described the motivation of the left as being hate for what we are. It seems to me it's more of something from the party, and what they hate is anything that interferes with the racket.
Yeah, the leadership is a racket, but the folks fighting it, they actually believe this mess. They believe that their job is to be nice to the Negroes because we can do things for ourselves. We're going to help you. We got a plan for you. I was on TV with the founder of Black Lives Matter. It was an ambush by Fox News. They were going to ambush me. It's sort of like tying a telephone booth. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm going up to the studios to go live to New York, and they get on the phone and say, Mason, by the way, I got to tell you, you're going to be on with the founder of Black Lives Matter. I said, you tell her that? Did you tell her that? Did she know that I'll be on with her? Because, see, folks, I'm a warrior. If you're my opponent, my job is to strangle you. I just told them, I said, I'm not going to respect a warrior just because she has ovaries. Don't expect me to be different kind because she's a woman. You put on if you want to, but it's going to be fun. So they put her on, let her speak for a little while. And when she finished speaking, the host said, so, what do you think, Mason? I said, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to be here in the presence of a black woman that hates black men so much. She thinks that we're incapable of doing anything for ourselves. You're saying that black men, every problem black man has requires white men to do something. There is no problem facing black folks that white folks can't help us with. I'm embarrassed that you hate black men so much you're a lesbian. You hate your own race so much that you're disgusted. You are getting rich by parsing the ears of black. I just went off on it. They cut me off. I just went off on it. I'm embarrassed to be in your presence. How dare you stand here and say what black folks cannot do? I mean, how did Oprah become Oprah without racism? How did Jesse Jackson become Jesse Jackson? Name me one thing that black folks cannot do in America today. You crazy, you're insane. She got $1 billion.
That's the one that got 5
Yes,
kids,
yes,
and then she quit.
yes. She didn't get her money back though. She quit, but she's still rich. How can we let these people stand in front of us every day and act like they're the black leaders? Any white leaders here? What are the white leaders? How can y'all need leaders? What are the Jewish leaders? What are the Italian leaders? Oh, mafia. Okay. Why do we need leaders? I told her, you're asking for minimum wage, never maximum wage. You're asking for low income housing, never high income housing. You're asking to be treated better on the plantation. You are a slave driver. You're simply an old slave driver. You are a criminal in our community. And no one respects you but the Democrat slaveholders that you work for. But that was the last time the Fox and Friends had me on. I don't get invited back nowhere too often. Yes, sir.
What's been your relationship with Trump and also your relationship with Larry Elder?
I knew Larry Elder before he went into radio. I was the first black talk show host in Southern California. And Larry came in LA, and then Jesse Peterson came in after that. Star Park had a radio program for a while. So I knew him professionally, and we did a movie together, a documentary together. And I was asked to speak out here, and they said it'd be nice to get, Larry Elder. I said, let me call him. And I just gave him a call, said, Matt, we're saying there, let's go bid some ears back and hurt some folks' feelings. What do you think? Yes. That was the day he announced it, in fact. The day he announced, he said, you have an announcement on the radio tonight and to be on the show we do it. So he's gonna come out and we're gonna have a ball, folks. I think it's the first time we ever spoke together any place. I think it's the first time. And Trump, I drove 10,000 miles by Winnebago campaigning for Trump unofficially all to the South. The first election. I stopped at gas stations, took a fried chicken place, went to the hood, went to Walmart, and asked, who can vote for it? No, who can vote for it? Yeah. And asked the questions and get the answers. I said, why are you voting for the people who are oppressing us? Why are you voting for the slave master? Why? They invented lynching. Why are you voting? Why? Well, Republicans are racist, but they invented lynching. Why are you voting for the people who brought all over the ships? And asked those questions. They never told me that. Never told me that. So who did tell you that? The Democrats would tell you that? Are they supposed to tell you that? Ask the questions. Being dumb. I'm confused. Why are you voting for the abuser again? Tell me again. It's like a prostitute voting for the best pimp. It's just why? I drove all through the South, and the campaign knew it. I mean, some of the staff even knew me. And finally, they had the debate in St. Louis. Second debate, and they invited me to come to the debate. They wanted to go backstage, but I didn't want to go backstage. My wife was with me, and she wasn't feeling well. So, but after the debate, I noticed something after the debate. The third debate was coming up, so I called the White House. I spoke to Steve Bannon. And I said, Steve, you notice that they never have the flag up, and they never sing the national anthem, and they never open prayer. I said, please, just tell us the truth. Go to the debate and stand there, and your first time to speak, you stand out of your seat and you walk away and you look. Here we're standing there. Why don't we have an American flag here? We in your pocket put a flag out. They said, will y'all please stand and let me lead you in the Pledge of Allegiance? And you do that. And Hillary has to do one or two things. Stand there like a fool, let you lead her in the Pledge of Allegiance. And when you finish, then you close in a prayer. And you do that, and it'll be historical and hysterical. They wouldn't, I don't know if they didn't tell Trump or he just didn't, that would have been the next debate. I looked and waited. There is no flag. Watch the debate season. There is no flag. There's no flag. You go to the debate and tell you to be quiet. Don't clap. So that's how I know. Then they asked me to join the campaign. I met him twice in Atlanta and then in Cleveland. And Atlanta and Cleveland, yeah. Met him in Cleveland first. And then Atlanta to join the Black Votes for Trump. And now I'm in Florida. I was supposed to be at his resort 2 days ago. It was just too much to get here. I couldn't do both. So I just decided to let him rest. I had to come out and talk to you guys.
Hey, Mason, did you ever get a response about the flag and the prayer from Trump?
No,
Did he ever get the message?
I do not know. I tried. I could not get anybody to tell me they told him. I spoke to his main advisor he speaks to every morning. I'm gonna tell you her name. I just did. Only people that. And I said, you gotta tell him. That'd be great. I mean, that'd be so patriotic. If this guy stood there and said, why isn't the American flag here? And take it out of his pocket, put a pedestal there, and stick it on the pedestal the whole time. Every shot, have him with the flag and Hillary with the flag. Been great, but you know, I'm a troublemaker. Somebody had a question over here? Somebody had a question over here. Nope, okay. Any other questions? I love questions.
Where else are you gonna be speaking at while you're here?
What am I speaking at?
Where else?
As church, what's the church?
Infusion Church.
Infusion Church.
Gonna be on Cape Ray?
Sunday. No, I was scheduled to be on Cape Praise. They didn't call back to verify. So I was going to announce this on Cape Praise. They asked me to come back to broadcast on Cape Praise, folks. But I don't know. I got grandbabies.
It's a long way.
I got granddaughters, man. I can call boys. I need your prayer because my granddaughter said I'm going to lose this battle that I have over them. And these boys are going to win the battle. And I told them, I'm going to lose. That will not be my surrender. I'm going to lose the battle. She's 18 years old now. She's beautiful and she's smart. And I'm trying to convince her that boys are bad. I said, boys make you fat. She ain't buying that either. I'm trying. Boys make you fat. Yeah, they work you. They feed you. Not working. Nothing's working. Nothing's working. So I'm just going to ask her to pray for me. I don't go to jail. It's really, to me, she's listening right now. She's watching right now. To me, it's real simple. It's real simple. I've asked the fathers to do this. The first phone call, the guy asks your daughter for the phone number, give them your phone number. The first phone call is to be the dad. The first call is to be the dad because that's your woman. You're feeding her, you're taking care of her, you give her a call, that's your woman. He's taking your woman out. Give him the rules. And the first date should be a double date.
With the shotgun?
He's seen a shotgun, he pick it up, but it should be a double date. You and your wife, him and your daughter. The third date should be his parents and us, because it's called courting. I'm not looking for a boyfriend, I'm looking for a son-in-law. I mean, you got to be able to outshoot me. You got to be able, how can you take my granddaughter out, you can outshoot me? She got to be safe with your behind. You know, I'm sure all you want to is play ticket wings. I'm sure you don't want to touch her, do you? Not to do that. So it's time for men to be the males in the family. It's time for these little boys to respect that front door. It's my grandma tell these guys, I tell my grandpa everything. I tell my grandpa everything. So that they're wondering, is she gonna tell him this? They're wondering, and she will tell me this. I'm not raising victims, sweetheart. I'm raising victorious women. I'm raising somebody's mother, somebody's wife. I'm raising somebody. I had an example. You know, my mother-in-law, bless her heart, my mother-in-law raised my wife and gave her things that I enjoyed before I even met her. Put in her how to cook, how to take care of a man, take care of her how before I met her. And I appreciated my mother-in-law so much that on my wife's birthday, I gave my mother-in-law a gift. A better gift than my wife got. So everything I learned, everything I love about my wife came from that woman before she met me. And I am betting that my future grandson-in-law will buy me a beer. Buy me a beer. Any more questions? Folks, get the books, get your certificate of forgiveness, and God bless you guys. Take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Nathan.
We're done, folks. Go up there.
I think, this is going to be a very important election next year.
I still love this guy.
Possibility.
I thought to call you. So we still need your help. Southern
One or two or several accommodations, maybe, but what we always do